Okay, yeah. So before we finish the talks before lunch, um, yeah, now Karl Smeds and Niklas Forsdahl from Creamarketing in Finland will talk about e-commerce and Silvershop and what Silvershop is heading for, what's new, what happened in the last year since Stockholm. Yeah.
All right, thank you all for this opportunity for us again to talk about something of e-commerce. This is actually the third time we are giving some thoughts about how we work with e-commerce in Finland. And this time it will be a little bit different because we have been working with the network here in Europe, and we have some partners that have joined on this trip. So we will share some information about that. And I will begin with looking on the agenda for today. And as we see here, we have first something important happened in Stockholm last year after StripeCon, because we just got home from the conference, and then we started to get some contacts from a few members that were on the StripeCon last year. That was very positive because we were curious to find out what is the interest of working together with this e-commerce platform. And we started to have these meetings, and I will talk more about that in a while here. Next, what we started the work with, we had to go through where we are, what needs to be added, and look a little bit ahead of what is to come. So that I will share some thoughts about too. And then my colleague here, Niklas, will show some real stuff, some examples of what we have done. And we have worked a lot with accessibility. And it's not that nice always, but you just have to do it. And especially if you're in the field of e-commerce, there ain't no options. You have a few years now left, and then you must have it in place. So we will show some stuff that we've made with accessibility. And another thing that we will touch is also the Stripe.com gateway that we have been working with also recently. Then, since we like these real cases, we will continue with another case also from another client of ours. We talk about multiple currencies because in Finland, we immediately get into this that we have to have Swedish crowns, etc., for the e-commerce clients. So this is something we are quite used to from before, but we have to add it also into the e-commerce platform. And then about the cooperation, it has been a journey because we've been having these meetings every now and then, and thought about we at Creamarketing have had quite a lot of development on the e-commerce platform. Our focus in the company has been shifted totally more or less to e-commerce, where we put the resources in the development. So this means that we have a lot of development there in the e-commerce, but we need to figure out how to share it with you, and that's also a journey to consider, because there are many routes of how to do this, and always try to remember that what is the smartest, what steps should be taken first, etc. with this. So there we have set up a private packages that Niklas will also tell a little bit about, the model that we have today. And then all the challenge here of transferring the stuff we have into the Silvershop core and to make that alive again, if you say so, spice it up so that it's really a platform to look on in the future. And then we thought about where we are today, what have we done this year. So we wrote down this in a roadmap of the e-commerce Silvershop. So we're gonna look a little bit of how we see the roadmap today. But we would be very happy if you just ask us, give feedback. I know time is limited during our presentation, but please just grab Niklas or me or any of the other that are now on board on this journey give feedback of what you think we are doing. Should we do like this, or should we do it in another way? Just give us feedback. And at the end, if there is time, we can have a few questions and a discussion. But let's hit the first. As I said, we got some contacts after Stockholm last year, and we got a lot of contacts, and these contacts opened up more doors for us. This is exactly how it should work. And this group that we gathered were mainly from Austria and Germany, but there have also been others involved in these discussions of what to do. And some has been in contact with us and told, hey, we really miss this piece in the existing silver shop. Do you have it, or how have you solved it? So we have had those discussions as well. And then, of course, we need to find the father of the silver shop, so who is maintaining it at the moment. And we got contact with Will. And we had a good meeting with Will, and we showed what we have done, and he was willing to give us also the rights to maintain the silver shop for the future. We continued with these meetings, and I forgot to tell, Niklas and Werner is also now the maintainer of the silver shop core. So we continued also these meetings, and we had another good meeting with Jackson at Silver Stripe, just to show what we've done. And Jackson was blown away many times during the presentation and gave awesome feedback. And it didn't mean any business for us, but it boosted up the self-confidence, like, hey guys, you do really good stuff. Keep on pushing it, keep on. We like it. So it gave a lot of boost for the future work. And we also were invited to the Silver Stripe Innovation Week. So we, in Finnish time, it was midnight. It was during our summer holiday. We had a 1 hour presentation for Silver Stripe during the Innovation Week. And a lot of thumbs up, cheerings, good feedback from the developers that took part. And there were a lot of people that were attending that hour in the Innovation Week. So, to move on, the first thing we started to do was that we were mapping like what's really missing pieces of the puzzle in the existing silver shop. And we immediately came to some important pieces that needs to be in place in order to work with this. And the first was the European payment gateway, as we call it, because from Scandinavia and from Finland, where we come from, we have a lot of payment gateways that are, of course, in place already, but they are not used in Middle Europe or elsewhere in Europe. So we had to just find more options about the payments. And we kind of liked the Stripe solution, so we decided, well, we go for that one. And Niklas will show later on in the case how it looks like when it's in place, the Stripe payment gateway. Surprise, surprise, the GDPR stuff comes here also. And I remember when we went from the Stockholm conference last year, someone told me that, are you aware of the laws and how it is here in Germany? I was like, no. But we started to dig into it, and we found that there are many similar things as we do have in Finland, because we fall under the same European laws and regulations. So there were not so many pieces of that puzzle missing, but still there are important ones. All of them are not in place yet, but those are minor things considering the other work as we see it. So we are more or less ready to roll, especially here in Germany. And then, is it mine or your favorite? Okay, I'm not the programmer, so I take it and I say this is my favorite, the accessibility. Are you all here aware of what this means for your sites and for your, especially in the e-commerce field? Are you aware of what it really means? If you're not, look into it and do it tomorrow. Because it will take some time, and time is a limited resource, and you would like to have time enough for this job. So if you just click on the link there, for those that are not just familiar with this, this is what we're referring to, the European Accessibility Act. And in Finland, this has been very popular in the public sector, and I guess it's the same also in other countries, that if you're a city or a university, etc., you have been following this for years already. But now, if we scroll down here, a little bit here, you see what it covers, and then we come to, oops, e-commerce. And yeah, it's a fact. The e-commerce must be, the solutions must be accessible within, was it June 2025, I think. And I don't know how it is in your countries, but in Finland there is a lot of people that get paid for doing these reports and tracks and hunt you down. And you will not be a good supplier if you continuously end up in these reports that you deliver sites or e-commerce solutions where accessibility is low or non-existent. So yeah, I can go back. And as I said, Niklas will point out a few main painful things with this within a few minutes. The second one was about the VAT rules. Having this in Europe, you know that there are different VATs from one country to another. And if you set up an e-commerce selling, although you're selling from Finland, but you're shipping to Germany or you're shipping to Denmark, you should be aware of what it means for how you set the VAT on the price. So that, of course, we had to implement also in order to say that this is a solution you could do international e-commerce with. Last, we have here that we found very important was this multiple currency, as I mentioned. And Niklas will also show how we have solved this currency thing in the show. Yeah, go ahead, please. So just before I hand over to my colleague Niklas, this is one client we got. And the funny part here is that this client was not maybe necessarily interested in accessibility or so, but we took it because we always do the development in our company somehow related to client projects, because someone have to finance the developments. So it just fell in very natural that now we were working on upgrading this client's web shop, and we have been working in-house with accessibility, and we said, well, why not go for this one as a good example? And by accident, the Stripe gateway was also just released. So boom, there we got it, the case of Sloyd. And Sloyd is a small e-commerce site, we can say. But please, Niklas.
Yes, I'll just jump to the actual site. Yes, as Kalle said, this is a small site. It's not a huge web shop, perhaps a few hundreds or at least below 1,000 products. So it's not huge. Let's talk about the accessibility first. You probably all have run like these accessibility tests in Lighthouse. But getting those scores up, that's not the problem. Those scores are, I mean, those are quite easy. The test they do is like contrast issues. Do you have the right alt titles on images? Are buttons labeled? I mean, those are easy to fix. So the past audits, these are the easy ones. We all know how to do these. The more problematic ones are these additional items to manually check. Here everything needs to be keyboard focusable. The whole site actually should be navigable just by tab navigating it. And especially for an e-commerce site, that's not, it sounds easy, but it's not really that easy. You need to be able to search for products easily with only keyboard navigation. You have to be able to add them to the cart. You have to do the whole checkout. And furthermore, it also needs to work well with screen readers. I mean, there's no point in just being able to navigate it if a disabled person if they can't hear or understand what the screen reader says. So that's the hard, and what it takes a really long time to do this. You have to like sit and try with the screen readers, and it's really annoying job to.
I can add that when we were trying out the screen readers, it was quite a funny journey in the office.
Yeah.
Because everyone was like, "Oh my, this is a lot of work before we get this in place." And it was fun until we realized that it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
So
I won't bore you with the screen reader now. It's so annoying to just hear it, but I'll show you some pointers. But basically, I'll now just navigate the site without using the touchpad or touch screen or anything. Just type navigating. So you've probably seen these extra like links to just skip some content. That's also important because otherwise the user has to navigate through the whole menu or every page load. That's really annoying. And here the screen reader read every menu item. So that's one thing. And then the menu needs to actually work. And this is also not that easy. All the buttons need to have good labels. It's also quite important to have like extra attributes here. There's some extra ARIA attributes for like, is this expanded, is it not expanded? And screen readers like to read this so that the user knows, have I opened the menu or not? Because they might not even see anything on the screen. So there are lots of these small things. Search is another thing that really needs to work. And here ARIA labels are really important, that it actually reads this is a search button. And now search is expanded. Here we, by the way, have a shout out for Matomo. Here's like also some Matomo integration. This is pulled directly from Matomo. And here ARIA labels are also really important because if you just start to navigate, if it just reads Rubik, no one knows what it means. It needs to actually, the label here needs to include this popular searches, Rubik, popular searches, Oscar. Otherwise the user just doesn't know what this means. And you need to be able to navigate to the actual search result and just navigate. And here again, skip the menu. Also, other sections need to be able to be skipped. For example, there might be quite a lot of images on a product page. You want them to be navigable. Here the alt labels are also important, but you also don't want the user to always have to navigate through all these images. So here, like, skip images is really important. And I can continue navigating. And I can actually like add more than one item. Also here, it's really important with the ARIA labels. If it just says plus, it's really hard to know what it means. So it really needs to have an ARIA label that says like add more. Add to cart. It's also important. We usually hide this like cart pop-up after a while when you add something to the cart. But if you do it with keyboard navigation, it's really important that it stays stays up until you close it. Otherwise, it's really annoying. You need to be able to navigate to the checkout. And here, this checkout part is also quite a hassle to get really good, because here it's the same thing. All these fields need really good ARIA labels. Otherwise, some of them you need the context, like is this the name in customer info, or is it name in a address part? So you need to really include this like header into the ARIA labels. Otherwise, the screen reader just reads first name input field. Okay, that's self-explanatory, but some of the others really need that context. And another thing which was a bit of hard to do was like shipping method and payment method selection. Normally in Silvershop, Silverstripe just uses a radio group field, and radio groups are accessible, but they're a bit hard to use for some people, because you can't tab navigate through the options. When you tab navigate into a radio group, you then have to navigate with the arrow buttons, the different options. So it gets kind of confusing to navigate it. And if you would like to have some additional info when the radio is selected, it gets really hard to navigate with keyboard. So we had to redo this with another field, which is more like an accordion field, which might open up some extra information and has some ARIA labels for if is it expanded or not. And it looks like a radio button, but it also has a role radio, but it's not really a radio button. It's a custom component. And this is also here the Stripe integration also comes in. Stripe payment gateway. It's actually you have to integrate an iframe. That's always an accessibility problem, but also like usually a visual problem, because we, at least in Finland, we usually have multiple payment gateways, because the Finnish online banks usually aren't included in, for example, Stripe bank payments. But fortunately, you could Stripe had quite good options for how this iframe looks. So we actually we made this field look like the Stripe how Stripe makes this iframe look. So actually, these are from Stripe, but these are actually other payment gateways, but you don't see a difference here. And these open up, and you get more options when it opens up. And these are tab navigable. It's not a radio group, even though it looks like it, and it's got a role radio. We have some role radio group here, but it's actually buttons with ARIA labels. And this is Stripe.
Can I just ask here, anyone here using Stripe? Okay, cool.
Okay, I'll just show some code, because doing all this if you need to do this for every layout you do, it's a lot of work. So what we have chosen to do is we really like this cascading themes feature of Silverstripe. So I don't know if we are abusing the system or if it's actually designed for this, But we actually we always have like at least 2 levels of themes. We usually have 3 levels. The lowest level is a common theme, which we just call it core theme. This we use in all our layouts, no matter if they are e-commerce or just a normal website. But this is like this has got all the core templates, all the core block templates, header, navigation, footer, and it's quite split into quite fine-grained templates. It has actually some JavaScript. This is basically like a functional JavaScript stuff, like navigation, header, all that stuff, lazy loading of images. It has some styling, but it's purely like functional styling, base paddings, all kind of CSS root variables. And in the next level, for example, for a web shop, we have a shop theme based on this. And most of the accessibility stuff is in this core theme, because it has the navigation templates, buttons with ARIA labels and stuff. And all the JavaScript needed for navigation or for accessibility is also in this lowest level theme, which we always use. And this is like a theme module. We never copy this to product. It's always its own module. On the next level, we add templates. If it's e-commerce, the e-commerce templates are in this level. It might override some templates, but usually then just try to fine-grain them so we don't have to override the whole header template at once. The header template is then split into smaller parts, so we can override the header template and just include them in another order or something if we want to reorder stuff. So we don't have to override them. If we need to fix some kind of bug, we can fix it hopefully in the lowest level, and it will be fixed in all other themes depending on this one. Same with the client side, like bundles. Here we usually, both for JavaScript and styles, we use Webpack just like, and John just like Silver Stripe. And we never copy like the JavaScript or styles from a lower layer. We just include them. These are also usually split in quite fine-grained stuff. But we always like, on this level, we don't want to have one bundle from the lower level theme and then another bundle from next level. We usually want one single bundle. That's really good for page speed. So we just include stuff from the lower level bundle. And if we fix something in, for example, the header menu JavaScript, there's an accessibility bug. Oh no. So we fix it in this level. Then we just have to rebuild the next level, and it's fixed in those bundles. We usually then have a highest level theme, which is then like the customer theme, which just add customer specific styling. Might override some templates to reorder something or whatever designer has cooked up for this one, or some custom block styling. But it's usually quite a small one. We usually do some bundles here also, but these are usually just, they are minified and then just inlined as an inline style tag with a minified CSS. Because they're usually so small, it's page speed-wise, it's better to just inline it than fetch another resource. So in that way, if you have accessibility bug, you fix it in the lowest level theme, rebuild the second level, and it's fixed in all projects. For the Stripe integration, we had to, Silvershop uses the OmniPay system, and there was an existing Stripe implementation, but it actually really just supported card payments. It didn't really properly support all these other ones using the new payment intents API. So For now, we just have to subclass some of those. I'll see if I can get it into the OmniPay module via some pull requests without breaking everyone else's implementation. So for now, they are just subclasses here. But yeah, we really like the cascading themes. It's a great idea. I haven't seen this in any other system than Silverstripe, so it's really useful. At least for us, it saves a ton of work. Then we have multiple currencies. This is also quite a challenge. The basic Silver Shop doesn't really have support for multiple currencies. So in this example, we have, and actually we did this in our implementation. We also use the Fluent module. So we actually used that here because in most of the cases we have had so far, it's usually a separate domain for like a different country or a different region which needs another currency. So we tied that like currencies to Fluent domains. So you can configure a specific Fluent domain to use a specific currency. So this is the Finnish domain. This uses euros. This is the Swedish domain. It's the same like products. You can also per domain tell it that, yeah, this category or this manufacturer should not be included in this domain, but usually it's the same products. But here is the Swedish kronas. So if we just have a look at the backend, we have locales. We have this is also a bit of a challenge. We have Finnish. We have a Finnish domain which also needs Swedish, and then a Swedish domain which needs Swedish. But in Fluent, you can only connect a specific locale to one domain. But we actually here uses it's Swedish in Finland, Swedish in Sweden. So it's possible to do it. But per domain, we here have currencies is here a data object. There's also a tax object, so you can also choose like the main tax rate in this domain and the currency. And on a product or variation, you then have you don't simply have a base price, you have base price per currency. To make things more interesting, it would be really a lot of work for the merchant to need to specify each and every price for every product in every every currency. So we have modeled currencies as data objects, and there's also like conversion rates. Read those from the ECB. They have an API to read the conversion rates. We have one main, you can configure the main currency. So we then use currency rates from that currency, and we then automatically generate the currency in the base price in every currency based on those conversion rates. The user can then use as a radio select here if you want to use automatic currency conversion, or do you want a custom base price? Because we then we're quite heavily on queue jobs, so we have a job for actually updating all those auto-generated currency prices. For example, once a month or something. because it might have to update really a lot of prices. And we really want to store these. We don't want to auto-convert them on the fly, because that just takes a lot of time in a lot of views when we show lots of product cards with which need to show the price. And we also, in this case, we use static publish module, so that makes it even more complex. If we need to update all those prices, we need to regenerate like 5,000 statically generated pages, possibly. But there's a queue job for this, so it just runs once a month. It fetches the new conversion rates from ECB, goes through all the products which don't have that custom price tagged, and it just updates the price, re-renders the static page for the product, and so on. But that's a bit how we solve the multiple currency problem. As for the cooperation, we realize we have done this already. We want to open source it, but there's also always the problem of resources. It takes time. It's now done like just how we thought it would work, so that might not work for everyone. We really realize this, but what we're trying to do now is give other people access to what we have right now. It's in our own like internal Git repositories. But giving access to that is actually quite easy via private packages. We have configured all our packages to private packages, and we can now just add someone here. They get their own URL. They just add this to Composer with their own token, and they have access to all the modules. Hopefully we could this way like have others try out this. Does it work for them? Is it useful as it is? Does it need some more work? Does it need to be done in some other way? And hopefully someone else can also help by actually helping open source some parts of this stuff when using it.
Yes, thank you, Niklas, for those case and the walkthrough in the back end also. As was stated earlier, the challenge is, as all of you may have experienced, how to find the resources needed for the job. And the client projects, I wrote here, steal the time. And sometimes they take even more of you. And we are busy. We have a lot of clients. We've been in business for 25 years. And we keep on grabbing new and bigger clients, especially now in the e-commerce field. So we try to acquire a few of those new every year, because they kind of invest in us, and we get the new functions, features to the shop, and then we would like to get it back to the silver shop in a smooth way, so that more people can join and use it in their projects. There are some, I call them baby steps, maybe not baby steps is the correct word, but small things, thanks to Werner, who have started to digging into the code done by Niklas and Creamarketing and given feedback, and also managed to get a few pieces out there to be used in other client projects, which is good. This is exactly the way we see it should go also. And we need to look a little bit in the future here also, because we know where we are today, we know what we got, we know what we face, what we need to develop, but we have to look maybe 3 years ahead to see the horizon, that there we want to go. Because if we keep on in this pace, there will be more clients, there will be bigger projects. And these clients are not selling in Finland nor in only Scandinavia, they sell worldwide. We also have big B2B e-commerce sites. So the dollars and the euros are rolling faster every month. So we made up a roadmap. Andy, how much time do we have?
We are at the time, I think. So maybe 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes, nice, thank you.
Everyone is hungry, I think, and yeah, they're smelling food over there.
Okay. So we made up a little roadmap describing where we are this year, what could be maybe done next year, and the year after. So if we're looking on the development group here, or work, we see that in 2023, we have managed to establish this, we call it the Europe team, which for sure need more members. So all of you that are curious, please just knock on the door, tell, hey, I like to hang around with you guys, you're nice, and I can contribute with something. That's okay, because we don't look for massive contributions. You all have to run your own business and take care of that at first. But we managed now to get the Stripe up and running, and it works as it should. We look on the legal aspects. We have a checklist of how to get the German market, for instance, to work. Because we don't want to be behind a shop where the lawyers come and knock on the door to the client and say, who have done this shop for you? We would like to be the ones that the other copy, we've done it in a good way. And preferably a few years ahead of time, and there where the accessibility comes into fact, that we have already managed it and we have the evidence that it works, although the law is not there yet. So for next year then, the standard team, Niklas was showing a little bit how we structure with the teams. A very good way of doing it. And we are very proud of the performance of the sites. We are very proud of the accessibility of the sites. So now we just have to add more for next year. And the integrations we work with, we have like at least 10 different ERP and POS systems. Unfortunately, mainly Finnish and for the Scandinavian market. But we have done these integrations so many times. So it's easy to just open up and tell how, if you have an integration you need to do for your client, we can help you to just tell where to start and what job to be done. In the horizon, we see that people would be taking part of this journey and contributing with own stuff, because we will never be mastering all the European markets. We will never be truly experts there, so you will be those experts. But then you need to also look on how can I make a living of this? How can I, if I invest time to do some special features or modules for my market, how can I release it and get some income from it, maybe through a marketplace? It's just an idea. Language packs is also, of course, but those are simple in the whole context. To scroll down a little bit, we get to the silver shop part here. Andy now has some sort of sword there, so I'm a little bit afraid. What? Okay, to continue? Oh no. So the silver shop version here. So we keep on adding new pieces to the puzzle. Workshops that we join, we discuss, we share the experiences. We must be better in documentation, because the more people that join, the more pressure it will be on documentation and testing. And in next year for the community growth. Nice, more members that are curious, more members that are committed. And we can do joint projects. We can do one part, you can do another part, for instance. And more of our stuff that Niklas showed in the private packages list should just find their way back to the Silver Shop core.
Or in their own modules, that really depends
Exactly.
where they actually need to be. But
yeah, thank you. And also the next year after, supporting these new members through experiences, through these joint projects, workshops, because we are a small community. We need to be smart. We need to be smarter than the other, if we might call them the other options. Every day, every week in my life, I face the other platforms, and we wipe them out. We do better, and we know that you can also do better in your home country, so just join. The marketing research, we need to be curious. What do others do? What are the directions to go? Presentations, you saw in the beginning we had quite a few presentations with the Silver Stripe company, all very good. The network should get bigger. We should invite more to join, listen and get a part of this. Next year we must get up some sort of websites. I guess we can arrange that. Do some websites for a demo and then also a marketing. And then year after, the joint marketing efforts for community members. My dream is that we sell this, for those that take part, we sell it together. Because we're still one bureau from Finland, but together with a few other bureaus, we're quite big. And then we get to the intelligence, what experience we got together. That makes a difference, and we will be selected as the supplier of the future products. And the last slide. On our last weekly meeting, we have one member, he's not here on StripeCon, but he was so enthusiastic of sharing what they have been doing with ChatGPT and all the AI stuff with Silver Stripe. So I was blown away. I'm not a programmer, but I saw the business in this. Hey, this is exactly how we should do it. And we should join. And now all of you, please, scan the QR code. More information will come. It's up to the guy who promised to have the workshop of the timetable, but it will be arranged. And all of you can join, if you like, for free. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Niklas. Thank you, Kalle. What a wonderful thing that you are starting initiatives for the European community. I really
Yes.
like it. Thank you.
Thank you.